Hello everybody and welcome to part 8 of our top 100 games of all time in the year 2023, and we are doing 30 through 21. So let us know in the comments what your top 30 through 21 games are, and click the like button, subscribe, ring the bell, all that good stuff. I am Michael.
And I'm Janela.
And we're gaming up with the Joneses, so let's get into this.
These next 10, I think it's gonna blow your mind for what's gonna be said here.
We'll see about that.
All right. So at 30, I have Race Formula 90.
Wow. Do you even remember that game?
Yeah, so it's a racing game where you'll have two sets of different colors of cars, and you'll have your own player board, and you're trying to
only get one car. Yeah, there's only one car. You don't get two.
You only get one card, but there's like two colors of each one, right?
No.
No, it's just
only
one.
the robots.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that why we must have only played with the robots then when we played? Because it was just us two.
You're supposed to.
Gotcha. But yeah, it's been a long time since we played this game, and we've only played it on Tabletop Simulator actually.
Yeah, we don't
own this game, so
it's hard to find.
Michael really wants to get this game.
Second edition's going into print in October or somewhere around there, so we're gonna get it when it comes out. We missed the Kickstarter, but I'm kind of glad because I would have been waiting for a whole year, and I hate doing that.
Yeah. So that is my number 30, Race Formula 90.
Nice. I really like that game. My number 30 is new to the list this year, and it is the only flippin' right that we own, and that is Welcome to. Is that too low?
No, that's about where. Actually, I expected it to be lower for you.
I don't know. I liked it. It's fun. Yeah, number 30. So in Welcome to, you are writing down houses. You have houses to fill out, and you write them down from lowest number to highest number. So let's say you flip a 11, you kind of want to put that on a higher number because the numbers are 1 through 15. And then you got a little bit of special things like swimming pools and parks and fences. That's probably the main thing is the fences. Because the first time we played it, we're like, fences, and then we didn't score very much.
Ooh, fences.
Yeah. And then what else is there? There's like a few other things. I don't know what they call it in the game, but
is it like the caution?
Yeah, but I can't remember what it's called.
But it's like a So, but it's like a
Like a
It's like this.
But
just kidding.
It's pretty fun. We want to get Welcome to the Moon if we can ever find that, because it's 8 different roll and write games in one. So you have different scenarios. I think they even have a campaign mode on there somehow, which is weird because it's a competitive game. But I would like to try Welcome to the Moon, but so far we only have Welcome to, but we've played... It's another one where we played the crap out of it when we first got it and then have it now. Because we played like 5 games, 6.
Yeah.
Played a lot.
Yep.
Because we take it everywhere for like a week too.
Yep.
But that's my number 30. Welcome to your new home, I guess is also on the title, but it's just called Welcome to.
Gotcha. Alright, my number 29 is Gizmos.
Nice.
That's all there is to it. I'm just kidding. So Gizmos, it says actually another favorite of somebody that is at the board game place that we go to. It's his favorite, so we played it a little bit at the board game store, and then we ended up liking it, so we bought our own copy of it. But it's a super fun game. You have like a little tray that will hold little marbles, and I think it's only 6 that show at a time, right? Around 6.
And there's 4 different colors.
Yeah, 4 different colors. So you get to pick any of those 6, but you're trying to get the ones that you need to be able to buy cards, and there's 3 different levels of cards, so you have the cheapest to the highest to help you. Is it kind of like Splendor
it's
too?
Really close to Splendor, but like more of an engine builder than well, I guess Splendor technically could be called that.
Because you have a board. You have your actual board too, where you can like put your cards
and
there,
and
they
can
kind of
actions.
Yeah, that's right. And then you could do like a big combo of I'm gonna do this, and then it causes to make
this
that
to
happen.
build, and building this
and then
causes me to
this,
get to grab this.
And then I can grab that. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. It starts off all slow, and then at the end of the game, you're like, boom, 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 bam! And they're like, whoa.
Yeah. So, and then on the level three level cards, you only play with a certain number of them, right? So that kind of increases the replayability for those two, because you won't.
Very little. But
yeah. So yeah. That is my number 29, Gizmos.
My number 29 is new to the list this year, and this is a fun little fighting game, kind of like a fighting game mixed with Yahtzee, I guess, with re-rolling your dice, and that is King of Tokyo. And King of Tokyo is pretty fun. You haven't mentioned it yet, I don't think, so it's probably going to be on your list. But, yeah, you get to roll dice, and they either have numbers 1, 2, and 3, and if you get doubles or 3 of a kind of those, you get them in points, because you can win 2 separate ways. Be the last one standing, or is it 10 points to win, or 15, or 20? I don't know. It's either 10, 15, or 20 points to win. It must be 20. I can't remember.
I can't remember now either.
You also have one side of the die that's energy, and that's what you can spend on cards that give you special abilities and or one-time use really strong abilities. And then you have like a fist symbol, and that's how you hit people. If you're outside of Tokyo, you punch the people inside, and if you're in
a claw.
Or claw, yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're inside Tokyo, you hit all the other people outside for the so. If you're in Tokyo, you can start beating people up, but you also become a target because all the people on the outside can hit you. And then there's also, you can regain health with the healths, but you can't do that while you're in Tokyo. There's one more die. No, there isn't. That's all. Yep. So that's my number, what are they, 29? King of Tokyo.
Nice. My number 28 is a crossover from a previous video. It is Space Base.
Oh, yeah. That was, I don't know what that was for me.
Yeah,
41.
41 for Michael. Alright, so this game, Michael had mentioned that it's kind of similar to Catan, but it kind of disappointed him a little bit. I really enjoy this game because it
didn't really disappoint me.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just, it's too slow at the beginning, that's for sure. But after that, it's more of, you can't play with people with analysis paralysis.
Yeah,
that's the hard part.
Yeah, because when we played it a couple times, we got through the game super fast. But then when we played it, like you said in the previous video, at 4 players, it kind of, like he likes to say, overstayed its welcome. But yeah, this game, you have your tracker of cards that start from 1 up to 12. The 1 is typically like not super good, what would you call it? Like resources?
Yeah, the cards that are easier to roll, like 1 through basically 7, are weaker than the higher numbers because 12 is the most rare one in the game.
So if, let's say I rolled my die and then everybody else gets to do their top action and I only get to do my like bottom action pretty much. But in order for them to get the top action, they have to like upgrade the cards from 1 through 12 first, because otherwise you won't have any top cards that will activate when other players are rolling their dice. So yeah, so you kind of have to like kind of think about it, but like you said, not super analysis paralysis. You just kind of say, oh, I have this amount of money, I'm going to try and go for the most expensive card. For the most part, that's kind of what I do. I think that's what you do too, because if you go for the cheaper cards, it kind of backtracks you a little bit too. So yeah, you kind of start slow because you don't have a ton of money, and then based on the cards you can increase, because once you spend your money, it like goes back to the very bottom, and then if you increase your income, you don't have to go all the way back to 0. You can go back to just where your income is at. So that kind of helps too. If you're getting those cards though, those are more cards that you can get. So yeah, this game is super fun. And then there's also another aspect to where at the end of the game, if you have like a ton of money and you don't want to upgrade your good cards that you have here already, you can get points. So I think it's like 3 points up to like $30 or something like that.
Yeah. They get really expensive.
Yeah, but once you buy that, you block yourself. So like
on that number.
So you'll put it where your spot is, and then you won't get any of the bonuses that you would have when you had the other ones. So, but it's a lot of points. So, yeah, super fun game. That is my number 28, Space Base.
My number 28 is new to the list this year, and it is a 2-player only game, World War II in 20 minutes. That is Blitzkrieg, World War II in 20 minutes. And we played that like twice, and I don't really remember who won or what, but I think we played twice. But it's not necessarily, it's pulling tokens from a bag and then choosing one of the 3 to play. It's what do you call it? It's a tug of rope.
Yeah, because you're trying to get.
What is that mechanism called?
Tug of war.
Tug of war? Is that what it's called?
No, I don't know.
Whatever, like the tug of rope game.
Yeah, like that game.
It's that mechanism. I'm gonna laugh when I know what it is, but you have like 5 different tracks that represent different locations, and you're trying to get them all the way to one location. Is it if you get one all the way you win, or I kind of can't remember. It's been a while. It's a really simple game.
I think it's just one of them, because I know, I'm pretty sure one of us did, but
oh no, it's after you fill it all up. Then you add the points based on how far it is, or something like that.
Something like that. But you want to have, like you said, you want to have more of the stuff to your side than the other players, because you get more stuff for it. So.
And then there's a couple special abilities, like you have an admiral and a general. I can't remember what they do, but they're stronger than the regular 1, 2, and 3s. But yeah, that is my number 28, Blitzkrieg, World War II, and 20 minutes.
At 27, I have Catan.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of funny that I have Space Base and Catan
right next to
each other. I didn't even realize that.
So you still like Catan slightly better than Base too?
Well, I think too, I like Catan a little bit better too because of all the expansions that we're able to play with. We
need to try the expansions for Space Base. I heard.
Yeah.
One of them I heard is really good. Another one, I think there's 2. I heard one is and one's really good. That's what I heard.
You guys will have to let me know in the comments what you guys think of Catan, because I feel like a lot of people enjoy it, or it's like meh.
People don't like it because of how popular it is, I think.
But yeah, I really like it because it's really cool to be able to get your resources on other players' turns too, depending on what they roll. One thing I do hate though is the robber, because if you are like, okay, I want to do like a combo of, I want to do this and this and this with all my amount of cards, because I got all these resources because I was super good at placing all my settlements in the right spots. Nope. You got the robber, makes you discard to half your cards. So that hurts. But yeah, the expansions too add a lot more to like exploring. And like depending on which one you're playing, you can explore different islands if you're playing like that one. But I feel like that one is so much different too, because it's like such a tight space compared to the regular one. You're almost like forced. Somebody is forced to almost explore like right away, because you can't like overlap.
There's like a bunch of different scenarios too for that, because you're talking about seafarers.
Yeah.
And then we also have, I think we've only played it once, but we have cities and knights too.
Oh
where cities are more powerful, but you get attacked by barbarians after a certain amount of rounds. So you want to make sure you have knights.
Don't your cities get destroyed like everybody's?
If you don't have more knights than cities, you need at least 1 knight per city. The little token of knights that you put on.
Oh yeah, another thing I like about that too is you could get the knights token, and then the longest road, like not tokens, so like plaques, like you get more points. Another victory point, right? That's what it is. So
2 points.
2 victory points. So yeah, I like to, for the most part, go for the longest road one. I don't think I've ever really gone for the knights, but longest road. It's really cool to like build your road all the way like crazy.
I love watching people fight for that.
Yeah.
They're like,
Well,
oh, I got 13. Oh, I got 14 now.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Jeez.
And you're building like all the way around people's stuff, because after a while, everybody's stuff is like compacted everywhere, so you'd have to kind of go all the way around to be able to even make your road bigger. Yep, that is my number 27, Catan.
My number 27 was 13 last year, so it has dropped 14 spots.
Mm-hmm.
And it is Raiders of the North Sea. I could see this one going back up if we get the expansions, because I heard both expansions make this game way better. And apparently, I didn't even know this, but apparently it makes it up to 6 players instead of 4. Which they say, I don't know why you'd want to play that many players, but I don't know, it's not that long of a game on your turn. But it's a pretty fun game. Basically at the beginning of the game, you're kind of building up your army so you can go pillage other people's stuff, because it's like you're raiders. But the mechanism is worker placement, but on your turn you place one worker in an empty spot matching the color of the worker you got, and then you get to do that action, and then also you pick up a different worker from a different spot and you get to do that action too. So you get to do 2 separate actions every turn, and all the workers have different colors on them and they do different things on the different spots. Like some of them are stronger. Like if, let's say it's a white one, it might be stronger in this area, and if it's a gray one, it might be stronger in this area or something.
Yeah, and you need to be able to get the other ones too, because the higher you go on the board, it requires a gray one or a white one to be able to even go to that location. And then, go ahead.
I don't know.
Well, in each space too, you have a group of like different stuff that you can get. So like gold, Valkyrie tokens. Can't you get cows too? Is it?
The cattle or something, and it counts as food. I think that's supposed to be food. No, because then there's provisions. You could turn the cows into food at some location. That's what it is.
I think so.
But yeah, there's a lot you can do. You can use people like a card as a one-time use, or you can put it as a person in your little 5-man army. Yeah, so that is my number 27, Raiders of the North Sea.
My number 26 is our first crossover for this video. It is King of Tokyo.
Oh wow, only a couple off.
Yeah, so like he said, this is kind of like a ripoff of Kung Fu Panda, but with like the characters, But yeah, everybody picks their character. Everybody starts outside of Tokyo, and then whoever's first will start. The first 2 players will start in Tokyo, and you get points for going into Tokyo, and then whoever. So
and
then,
if you're still in on your next turn, you get 2 points.
But that can
get you beat up.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting though, because like whoever goes into Tokyo will try and team up together, and then everybody on the outside will team up together sometimes to like attack each other. But then as soon as somebody is kicked out, then they're like, okay, like try, like it just switches so much between who's in Tokyo and who's outside of Tokyo. But yeah, Michael really likes to fight.
I get beat up on that game more than anything. I'm usually one of the first ones out.
That is true. But you try, like, because it's almost like Yahtzee too. You get 3 times to roll the dice to pick your combination of what you want to keep. So yeah, I feel like you do go for the fighting more though. Maybe not.
Maybe that's why people try to fight while I'm in Tokyo, and then I get beat up.
Yeah. Yeah, that is my number 26, King of Tokyo.
My number 26 is one she mentioned in a previous video. It was number 25 last year, so it only lost 1 spot. But I don't think we played it for a year. And it is Western Legends.
Oh, wow.
Sandbox game where you basically can choose to be the good path or the bad path, or you can do a little bit of both.
Yep.
You can start off good and turn bad later on. On that game, you really have a choice to do a bunch of different Western stuff. I mean, you can fight people or you can duel them. I guess it's two different things. You can try to rob them.
Yeah.
That's the stuff you can do with other players. And then you can go to the cattle and you can either, wrangle the cattle is to steal it from one place to the other, or move the cattle from the cattle ranch to the train station or whatever.
I think it's rustling.
Okay, rustling. And then, but it's stealing it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what the other one is called, but you're basically helping the guy sell his cows or something. And then you can go to the gold mine. You didn't mention this in the last video.
Yeah,
but
I forgot about
you
that.
can go to the gold mine and try to get golden nuggets, and then go to the bank and deposit it, and somehow that gives you points depositing gold in the bank. But the funny thing is, if you're bad, you can deposit the gold in the bank, get points, and then rob the bank. The expansion, you can rob trains, so I kind of want to try one of the expansions.
Like you rob the trains of the cattle type of thing?
I think it adds a whole new piece of board.
Interesting.
But there's 2 expansions, and one adds like a train, and I don't remember what the other one adds. But I think I would like to try that again, because the theme is fun. Western stuff like that. You can also go in and gamble, like play poker in the saloon, and I'm sure there's other things. There's also like special goals that happen that, like, as soon as 2 people do it, then a new one comes up for bonus points. Can't really remember how those work.
I don't remember.
But you have tracks too. Like if you're going on the bad path, you get bonuses for every point you get. Like certain
I forgot about that.
thing you get on the bad path, and same thing for the good path. One of them gives you like a big amount of points, and then the other one gives you points per turn. But I can't remember which one's which.
I can't either.
But if you like Western themed stuff, you might like that game. And that is my number 26, Western Legend.
Alright, my number 25 is Rise of Tribes. You haven't mentioned this game, have you? Huh? Might be coming up later on.
Might be.
So, Rise of Tribes. Let me think here. Oh, it's almost like Catan too. You have tiles, right, that you'll be putting in the middle of different resources. But instead of like having settlements and stuff, you just have your own workers. Each person has their own player board too that can give them a specific ability to help with. I don't even remember what my ability was when we played this. But anyway, you have your bunch of like workers, and unlike Catan, you get to pick how many, right?
How many what?
Like workers you can place. Oh no, no, it's not, because you have a board that you're rolling dice depending on the moons and the suns. Depending on what you roll, you'll place it, and I think it's 4 different actions, so you can gather.
And you get to do 2 of them.
You get to do 2 of them, so you can gather, move,
grow, which is add more people, and lead,
then lead, which is get more cards. So yeah, and then on each one, depending on if you put two suns, or if you put a sun, which will add 2 suns to that space, it can give you bonus. Or if you add a moon and it causes to have 2 moons in that section, it can be negative stuff. So not negative, but like less of a help, pretty much. And then that's how you can put your workers, and that determines how many like workers you can place somewhere.
I guess if you want to call them workers, tribes people, I don't know.
Yeah.
But if you roll doubles, you also get an event that happens that could hurt or help or put something in the game that maybe somebody can buy. And you also can build villages. That on the player board, everybody has a different cost for their village. And if you have a village, you get 1 point per village that you have at the beginning of your turn. And you're only to 15 points. So if you have 2 villages, you start getting 2 points every round. It goes fast. But it puts a target on your back, because then people can come fight you. And if they take over your land where your village is, they'll destroy it.
How do you... Oh, okay. So from the lead cards, when you do that action, you have the cards, and then how do you play those cards? I forgot.
After. You can spend anything after you do your 2 actions.
But those have like the cost like the same as... Okay. But yeah, and then those cards will give you like bonuses too. I think the biggest one that we've like used is like the basket tree is what I remember.
Basket one's nice.
So yeah, that is my number 25, Rise of Tribes.
My number 25 is new to my list this year, and it is a crossover from this video. It is Gizmos.
Oh wow.
Gizmos, we already talked about it. It's an engine builder game where you have 4 different actions, I think.
I think so.
You can either pick, which at the beginning your pick is just one random from out of the opening without looking. So you get a random one, a random marble. And then you can file, which is pick one of the groups of cards, draw a few of those, look at it. Or no, that's not the file part, is it? No, file is just to take one and file it.
Mm-hmm.
But you can research. That's what research is, the one where you can look at the
like
cards,
way.
and then if you have a file space left, or you can build it if you can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
So research allows you to do that, and then there's one more action, I think. No, there's just an upgrade square. Yeah, so it's either you pick one or you basically build, and then they start adding on each other. Like some cards will be like, after you buy it, it'll be like, well, if you pick this color, now you get to build this color, or all sorts of different things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because especially with the pick ones, you can get ones where it'll be, if you pick this color, then you can pick another one. So then if you pick that color, then you can pick another one. And you can kind of like just make it overpowered to where you can pick a lot of marbles and be able to buy more expensive cards.
Mm-hmm. That's my number 25, Gizmos.
Okay, my number 24 is a game you mentioned in a previous video, Galapagos. This is a game...
I thought this would be your top, 15 at least.
This is a game that is a huge hit between a lot, if you have a big group of people. I think you've mentioned it already, like I said, talked about it in a previous video, so if you want his perspective, go watch it. But,
what number was it?
I don't remember.
I don't either.
I thought it was the last one, maybe? No, maybe. I don't know. Actually, I don't know.
I don't see it. Oh, 42, so 50 through 41 would be the video.
Yes. But it's almost like this game, you're deserted on an island and you're all trying to cooperatively escape, but at the same time you can backstab each other because you have to start off with some cards.
You might have to, though, or else you'll starve to death, so you're kind of forced to.
Yeah, so the different actions you can take is you can go fishing to try and get food for everybody. You can gather wood to build the rafts to have enough for everybody to escape, because you have to have the same number of rafts as the number of players that are playing to be able to escape, and everybody has to escape. And that's how people start getting eliminated, because you could have 3 rafts and there's 5 of you and you're out of food, and so
you're like, all right, time to start killing people.
Another way you can kind of take somebody out too is if you have a card that's you have a gun, but you have to also have a bullet, and then you can just point at a person and they're out. It's pretty funny too, though, because it almost, like he said in the previous video, puts a target on your back, but you're trying to help at the same time, because when you're drawing wood, you can get bit by the snake, and then you're poisoned, and then you have to skip one whole turn, so you're literally not helping in any way at all. So if in that turn order everybody tries to go fishing and getting water and everything, and there isn't enough, you might get voted out. But yeah, this is a super fun game.
Or if you search the wreckage and don't get anything good, people are gonna be like, wow, you just wasted that turn, time to shoot you. Or you can hope you get a gun so you can shoot somebody else.
And then because then the water source too, you have to be careful when you do that, because you'll have because it determines on how much it's raining, so
so you
that
really only want
determines
to
how
get
much
water
drops.
if the weather is good for water. Sometimes it's 0, so you can't even get any water, and
so
then
you have to be like, hopefully we got enough the last round. I know there's one card that was so funny. It's cannibalism. So
when you kill somebody, you get to eat them.
So it could be like, oh my gosh, there's 5 of us, right? And then one person gets taken out, and you only had enough to feed 3 people, so another person's
basically
trying
vote
to
who
get out.
dies too.
Yeah.
You're like, well, we only have 4 waters, so sorry, you get to die of thirst. Oh well.
So yeah, if there's only enough to feed like 3 people, so there's only enough for 3 completely, and there's 5. One person gets voted out. That person that has the cannibalism card can use it to get food and try to see if you can survive. And then there's like water bottles to give you more water. There's some cards will help you, but some are like I said, worthless too. If you get like a pair of underwear, which is completely worthless. So that is my number 24, Galapagos.
My number 24 was also only 1 off. It was my number 23 last year, and that is Secret Hitler. Social deduction game where one of you are Hitler and you might have a fascist on your team while the rest of you are liberals trying to pass liberal things before Hitler becomes president. And so the bad guys are trying to make Hitler the president after a certain amount of rounds or pass enough fascist laws, and the liberals are trying to pass 5 liberal laws to win. Or they can shoot Hitler. Because later on, after fascist laws are out, whoever the president is gets to pick who dies. And after you hit the bullet, you have to kill somebody. So basically, whoever the president is, if they pick the wrong person, then they put a target on their back, and it's all over the place. But while you're president, because it switches every round, you pick one person to be your chancellor. So Hitler could be picking his teammates and be like, "Oh, let's make sure we pass a fascist thing." But then the problem is now it makes them both look suspicious.
Yeah.
So you can do a bunch of different things.
Isn't it by like the 3rd like token for the fascists? If Hitler becomes the chancellor, that's how they win or something, right?
Is it president? Or? No, it is chancellor. It's if he's voted chancellor, because everybody can vote if it should be that person or not. And if that fails, then it just goes to the next person's president, and they try it again. If that fails, they do it again, and if it fails 3 times, whatever card is there flips over, and whatever law it is, it just passes, which can hurt you, especially because I think there's more fascist cards than there is liberal cards, because it is slightly harder to play as the fascist. So I think that's where it evens out.
Yeah.
But that's my number 24, Secret Hitler.
My number 23 is, you ready to get your mind?
I've been waiting. I've been waiting to get my mind blown.
Dodge Blitz.
That low? What?
Yep.
Have I even had it on my list? Yeah, I have.
Yeah,
right?
you have.
A while ago.
I think so.
Probably.
This is like a really fun game, but not a lot of people want to play it, so that's why I feel like it's this low on my list. Like, it's still super fun with 2 players, but
51.
it can be kind of hard to be able to get enough decks out there to be able to do anything. But yeah, we have a couple of videos out there on this game, so you should definitely check
Card
those
right
out.
here, click it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a super fun game. You have like your what's it called? Your blitz pile, that's 10, and then your wood?
No, your post.
Post.
Your wood pile.
Oh, it's your deck.
Your hand.
So you have your post of 3 if you're playing more than 2 players, and then it's 5 if it's just 2 players.
And then you got Dutch piles.
And then you have Dutch piles out in the center that everybody's trying to put their cards out. And then you have your wood pile, which is the rest of your deck, and you can do those if you're not able to play any of your cards that are showing here. You could do 3 at a time, flip them over, and play the top one. And then, yeah, it's super crazy because you're only supposed to use one hand too, and so everybody's just crazy trying to get all of their...
It's hard when you know you have a combo and you know you can only use one hand, because then you have to go boom, boom, and so somebody else might be waiting for you to play that one so they can go there. And like, there's a lot of moments where people both at the same time are like whack, and they both smack their hands trying to get the right spot, and then they'll fight over it for a second. I was there first. No, I was there first.
Or a card gets majorly bent. Yeah, this game is a lot more fun with more than 2 players.
Yeah, I think 4 is best. I feel like if you get higher than that, it starts getting.
Well,
You
yeah,
can't keep up with everything.
Yeah, because then there's too many piles, and like if there's more players, then the player way over here can't reach somebody that
then you
played
might
it all
have
the
to
way
get
over
out of
there.
your chair and walk all the way around.
Like you see it,
throw it
or
down.
just throw yourself all over the table. I think I had to do that once.
Yeah. No, you do. So, especially if it's your last card, you're like, wow, blitz.
I know. I'm guilty of that.
She usually wins. I'm surprised you don't have this higher, though.
Yep. This is my number 23, Dutch Blitz.
Wow. I really thought this was going to be your top 5 minimum. Dang. My number 23 is new to the list this year, and she mentioned it in a previous video. It is a dice forging game called Dice Forge. It's not really a building game because you're not like getting new dice like deck building, but you are taking faces off the dice and replacing it with better ones over the time, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But you can either spend money on your turn to get more pieces that are better for your die, or you can spend moons and suns to get points or other abilities on this side. And on your turn, everybody's turn, everybody rolls their dice, but on your turn, you're the one that can spend your money and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of nice because everybody gets to do everything on everybody's turn. Yeah. So there's 10 rounds if you're playing a certain amount of people, 9 if you're playing a certain amount, and that's it. After that, whoever has the most points wins.
Yep.
So pretty easy game. My number 23, Dice Forge.
My number 22 is another crossover from this video.
Wow. Secret Hitler?
Nope.
Raiders.
Raiders of the North Sea. Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I almost read the other one. Okay. Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, this game, you have a board and there's a bunch of different trackers you can actually advance. You have your army that you can like advance to be able to have more power for your army, to be able to get the better higher like achievements up here to get more better things. You can advance on Valkyrie trackers and that happens. Mm-hmm. And you can get points that way and then just regular points. So yeah, I think there's 5 different places you can go. One's to like get coins.
Oh, there's
one's
more than 5, isn't there?
Like right here.
Pretty sure there's more than 5. I think there's like 7.
Because I think you can get provisions, you can get gold, you can get.
I guess there's different things you can do at each place.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Then there's also these like other tokens on the other side of the board, I think, but you have to like you have to use like a gray or white worker. You can't do it right off the bat, and that gives you like points too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the offering. I think it's offerings.
Yeah.
You're like offering your tribe leader, whatever.
But yeah, it's super fun because you like are trying to build your army up, but then you have to make sure, depending on where you go, you can do a die roll too to kind of help or hurt you depending on what you roll.
Well, it always technically helps. They're always plus numbers, but
it is plus numbers, but
it
could be a low number when you're hoping for a higher one depending on what your
I think it's 2 through 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. I think are the numbers that can be rolled.
I can't remember for sure.
I think so. So it's 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5.
Yeah, but like you said, this is a game that we definitely need to get the expansion for.
There's 2 though. That's the problem. Is there's 2. If there was only 1, we'd probably have it already. But it's like, might as well grab both at the same time. But every time we're at the store looking at it, we're like, or we could just get a new game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Last time I was pretty close to wanting to get the expansions instead, and then we seen Flying Rouge. So that's the one that took the spot.
Yeah. That is my number 22, Raiders of the North Sea.
Wow. Here's my number 22. It's new to my list this year. It is an Uwe Rosenberg game, Agricola. In Agricola, you're building a farm. Is that too low for me? Really?
I was expecting it to be way higher.
22 is pretty good now. I mean, that's top 10% in my games. But, because 211. But anyway, on Agricola, you're building a farm. I think the only thing that kind of hurts the game is you're forced to do everything. You're forced to get at least one of each type of animal and plant one of each type of crop and stuff. Because if you don't do any of one thing, then you get a negative point in that aspect. And that kind of hurts. And then you're building fences to put more animals in there. You can build your house more because you start with 2 workers, but as you build a house, then you can get more workers to fill in those rooms because you can have up to 5, and that's basically more actions you can do that round, which really boosts. But to counter that, you have to feed your people at the end of at each harvest, and they have to eat 2 food, so they start getting more expensive to feed, even though you can do more actions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have 3 different types of cards that go through the game. You have your occupations, which you start with 7 of those, and you can play those throughout the game. And then you have minor improvements, which, do you start with 7 of those too? Yeah, you have 7 of those too. Because you just start with 7 of each type of card, and that's it. There is no drawing cards or anything in this game, and you can play those. And then there's the major improvements, which are all face up. And they're like wells and stuff that help you cook food, like stoves and stuff.
Yep.
And whoever has the most points at the end wins. Plant crops and stuff too. So that's my number 22, Agricola.
My number 21, I have Architects of the West Kingdom.
Right after Raiders, huh?
Right after Raiders. Well, technically
same
before.
designer. What is it? Shem Phillips.
Yes. Yeah, this game is another one that you've already mentioned, right? Didn't you?
Nope.
Oh. This game, yes, you have.
No, I haven't.
I swear you have.
Well, I haven't. Not yet.
I swear we talked about.
We might have talked about it, but nope.
Okay, so this game, you have a board that has a bunch of different actions you can do. You start off with all your workers, and you start placing your workers in specific areas, and the more workers you put there, the stronger that area can be for you. You can also build up to getting points for the cathedral, and that gives you a lot of points, right? The cathedral.
I think so.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But yeah, I think that's kind of how you end the game, is by building that. But I could be wrong. You can also be bad in that game and get corruption or something too.
Yep. Well, but that minuses you points too if you get too much of that. And then another fun thing about this game that my little brother really enjoyed when we played it with him was you can pick up all of one space of workers and throw them in jail. So they pretty much lose their workers until they do something else. I can't remember what they do.
They have to go to a certain spot to take them
to get it back. So but yeah.
Doesn't really hurt them. I think they even make. Well, it doesn't hurt them because now they got their workers back and they can place them again.
True, but if you had a bunch that you were getting from one spot, that kind of does still hurt. So yeah, if you like throwing people in jail, just kidding. This is my number 21, Architects of the West Kingdom.
My number 21 was 11 last year. This is the last one of this video. So it's dropped a bit, and we have one expansion for it that we got. Basically, I think when we bought the game, we bought the expansion for it.
Okay, let me see if I can guess. Give me some clues.
Let me see if I can think of a clue that's not too easy. It's a Stonemaier game.
Nope.
Well, I can't give you the clue that came to mind was tweet.
What? Tweet? Wingspan?
Yeah. My 21 is Wingspan. It's an engine builder with birds, and you have up to 15 spaces of birds, and on your turn, you can do one of 4 actions. You can either place a bird in your tableau, starting from left to right, in whatever location that it's in, and paying the cost that the bird eats. Basically, it's food. You can get food. That's another action. You can get eggs, or you can draw cards, which is bird cards. And everybody has one goal that they start with, too, that they're kind of trying to do. And then there's end of the round goals. There's 4 rounds in the game. And so on the first round, you start with 8 turns, and then you slowly go 7, 6, and then 5 turns, too. So you actually get less turns as the game gets closer to the end. But each bird that you have on your rows make that action stronger. So if you have a couple birds on your feed, instead of when you go there for food, instead of getting 1 food, you could get 2. And it gets stronger and stronger. Not only that, if they have the brown powers, which are activate powers, then they go to the food first, or whatever action you're doing, and then go to the bird with the brown power and keep going through those, and you can activate them. And sometimes it's like, if there's this food, you can grab that food too, or you can lay an egg here, or do all sorts of things, which is kind of nice. And then at the end of the game, whoever has the most points wins.
Yeah.
It's very, very popular game now. In fact, I'm pretty sure if you're watching this video, you've heard of this game.
Yep.
So I don't even know if I need to explain anymore. That is my number 21, Wingspan.
Nice. Were you surprised?
Dutch Blitz I was, yeah.
Just that one?
Basically, yeah.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. We hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and turn the bell notifications on. Make sure you come back for the next one. We will be doing 20 through 11 on the next one.
I'm getting excited now. This is the good stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already into the good games, but we're getting into the like super good games coming up now.
Yeah. So make sure to stay tuned. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.